All right, hello, and welcome to this week's edition of First GenXers Presents The Classroom. I am the one and only Dark Lord 100, and I am here with the lovely Miss OMalley. How you doing, Mama?
What's up? What's up?
And we are here to talk a little NFL action. Like it's been a lot of stuff going on since the last week when we did a show, so we got a little bit more to talk about. First and foremost, let's talk about this Thursday night game. Dallas Cowboys barely squeak by the New York Giants 20 to 15. Dak throws for 220, two touchdowns. Daniel Jones looks like a competent quarterback for about three quarters and then falls apart with 281. The Dallas rushing game is a joke, and so is New York's. CeeDee Lamb had himself a game, one touchdown, 98 yards. Malik Neighbors is blowing the doors off the NFL, 12 catches, 115 yards. So, to me, I don't know. I don't know. When you're the Dallas Cowboys, you shouldn't be struggling with with.
Why not? You're the Dallas fucking Cowboys. You should be. Instead of waiting to the playoffs, let's just get it out of the way right now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, is this what? See, this is the curse of the contract years, right? Or the year season directly following a huge contract payout. How many times has somebody actually came out and earned that contract?
Right
Not a
after you.
lot. Look at what happened with Eli Manning. Speaking of Giants, right? They gave him one of at the time it was one of the biggest quarterback contract extensions at the time, and then he went out the next season and completely shit the bed. So if you want to guarantee that your quarterback is going to play like shit the next season, go ahead and give them a huge contract.
and
One that they especially also don't even deserve.
and that's the part I want to get to. Is like everybody like I understand exactly. We've had this conversation. We had this conversation a few weeks ago, about a month ago, where I said I understand what the market dictates, but you gotta earn your money, and I just don't think that Dak Prescott earned his money. And this was another game that to me showed it. Don't get me wrong. The Giants have a okay team. They're not world beaters. They're not winning a Super Bowl anytime soon, even with a lucky streak. But you're the Dallas Cowboys. Like
But in the same note, you're the Dallas fucking Cowboys. So, right? When we
I don't
fuck
know.
up, we do it on a grand scale.
Yeah, this is akin. The fact that New York almost had a chance to win this game is what's even scarier. Like New York truly they had the ball to finish the game and had a chance. And like I said, Malik Neighbors and with 12 catches, 112, 116 yards, even though he didn't put a touchdown on the board, he ate that Cowboys secondary alive. And this is supposed to be the Cowboys defense, the vaunted Micah Parsons, and yeah, poor Dexter Lawrence. They say he's out a month to 2 months, torn ACL, I believe.
Hate it for him, not really, don't care. I'm an asshole. I'll admit it. Doesn't really, then again, I don't really have any skin in any game at this point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it
Oh
is what
man.
it is. At this point, like, I think Jerry Jones just likes to throw around money.
Yeah. Well, he's got it to throw around. Um, Unfortunately.
That's not how you keep rich, though.
Yeah.
Making poor financial business decisions, dude, for real. And like a habit of poor financial decisions when it comes to your quarterbacks.
No. I think it was a good financial decision if you never plan on winning a Super Bowl. I think it was a great. Both of those were great financial decisions if you never plan on winning a Super Bowl.
Okay, well, we have a difference in opinion in like great financial decisions, right? Because
Well,
I feel like a great financial decision should be getting you to the Super Bowl
I agree. I
and
agree.
winning the Super Bowl. I mean, I think at this point their fans would settle. they'd be happy just to get there at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah, yeah.
Because Tony Romo, now Dak Prescott, like, not, like there is no end in sight for these poor fans. I don't really
Here's
care because I don't particularly care for Cowboys fans anyway, so I don't really feel too horribly bad. And I feel bad for saying that because I do really, I love my sister-in-law. So
uh,
please don't take that as their Cowboys fans, which is hilarious because of course my dude is a Washington fan. So there's this going on in the family, but
it,
I don't.
it's I'll say it like this: Cowboy fan. I love it when Stephen A. talks about Cowboy fans because he has my favorite saying where he goes, there's only three things that would survive a nuclear bomb: cockroaches, Twinkies, and Cowboys fans. He goes, he goes. I don't
Or
understand.
Cher. Don't forget Cher.
Yeah, share.
Cher's supposed to go in there.
Chuck Norris too.
But
Don't
yeah,
forget about that. They're gonna
yeah.
repopulate the earth. Uh, I don't want to see that earth, and I'll be glad to be gone.
No.
um,
See, this is why the aliens don't visit because, like, they've seen the hot fucking mess express going on down here, and they're like, nope,
nope, not.
we are not even trying. That is
Oh
too much of a
man.
mess for us to even clean up.
Oh man. And that's where we're at with that. Like, no, no, just stop. But Cowboys got the W. They're 2-2. It's a long season, but they have a murderer's row, I believe, including a game against San Francisco coming up pretty soon here. And San Francisco hasn't looked great. They look good today. We'll get to that in a little bit. But
Really, they look great. I would hope that they looked great today. I mean, they were playing New England.
hey, you beat the team. Yes, Chuck Norris, man. Yes, Chuck Norris will survive a nuclear bomb. Anyway, I'll
Mm-hmm.
say no. You're supposed to remember. I've said this about the Warriors too. What matters is to me is if you lose a few close ones to teams that are on your level, I understand. But it's you got to beat the teams that are definitely clearly below your level. You got to beat those teams. They went out and did that today. So, like I said, we'll get to that later.
It's like winning the Special Olympics.
Why you got to go there? That ain't
Yeah, that was wrong. That was so wrong. I'm sorry. I'm going to hell.
right. Hey, Agent K28 says, "Good to see you, O'Malley." Mr. Saint out there watching. Thanks for
What's
tuning in,
up?
tapping in, sir. Oh man,
You're seeing my trip straight to hell right now. Is
yeah.
is what's going on in here. But yeah, I feel like the what's the name of the pig with the pinwheel
yeah,
out the window?
from the Geico commercial.
Is it Winston?
Yeah.
Winston, yeah. Sorry.
Oh my God, sorry.
Yeah.
I have to pause.
We digress. We digress here, folks.
I have to pause just to say that was the best Geico commercial ever. They
That
had a
was
series
absolutely.
of them at that time that were amazing, but the one
That
little
was
pig screaming wee 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 all the way home,
hmm
and
with the
look
pinwheel out the window.
and the
Yep.
look on that mother's face as she was driving, just like, will you shut the up? Oh man, I couldn't get enough of it. Anyway,
She's like, "Can I reach back and smack him?" Right?
bacon. Anyway,
Yeah. Exactly.
all right. So yes, Cowboys win, Giants lose. We'll get to the Commanders in a minute because were they a part of the early window? No, they were a part of the late window.
No, they were actually part of the late one,
Yeah. This week in the
but
early
they had
window.
Arizona looking like Washington.
Hey, I hope the Niners can make them look like Washington, old Washington again next week. I think they have the beginning of something good with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. We just got to see where they're gonna go with it. Because right now, yeah. Let's see. All right, so the early window consisted of Saints Falcons, which was a hell of a game, by the way. Let's see. Saints Falcons, Rams Bears, surprising win for Caleb and the boys. The Vikings going to 4-0 against the Packers. Jordan Love's back. Good for him. The Steelers losing to the Colts for their first loss of the year. And the two most surprising, whatever, two really surprising, but we'll go over the final results. But these next two are the really most surprising. The Broncos beat the Jets 10-9, and the Buccaneers trounced the Eagles 33-16. And then we close out the day games with the Bengals topping the Panthers for their first win of the season, and the Texans winning last minute to send the Jaguars to 0-4. So what I want to get to is that 10-9 victory by the Broncos over the Jets. I was told this is supposed to be. Oh no. Okay, there we go. So I was told this was supposed to be the new look Jets. That they were supposed to, be them dogs. They got Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
On the back end of his career,
remember
coming off an Achilles injury.
But remember when we talked about beating the teams you're supposed to beat?
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of falls into that category. Like, sorry, Jets, you should have been able to put at least one touchdown on the board. Like, don't get me wrong. I know the Broncos defense is playing it out of its mind this season, but
I really just also don't think that the Jets are as good of a team as they've been credited to be.
fair enough.
So, and I feel like a lot of the hype has come from, okay, Aaron Rodgers is back. Like, shit, they would have been better off just keeping Zach Wilson at this point.
Right.
Like, that kid is going to do something at some point, somewhere. I believe it. But what have the Jets actually done to kind of solidify them being the team that people think that they are this season, other than having Aaron Rodgers back?
Nothing. Not a damn thing.
So I don't know why people are so surprised when they get beat.
Well, it's not that they got beat, it's who they got beat by, because the fact of the matter is that even if Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers, that defense was good last year, and it's supposed to be good again this year. And
I haven't seen it.
Well, hey, you know what? This one, I gotta give Aaron credit. He got up on the podium. He accepted responsibility. He said it. Your defense holds them to 10. You better win that game. Like your defense holds that other team to 10. Like yeah,
there is no excuse on that, because that's a decent score for the defense to hold to.
Yeah, 100%. Like odds are you're a top 5 defense in the league if you're on average holding teams to 10 points or below.
Yeah.
And so right now that Jets defense did their job. It's the offense that's just all discombobulated, and that's the sad thing about it is there's nothing Robert Saleh can really do. He's not an offensive minded coach.
And the Jets aren't really an offensive minded team either.
Yeah.
So it really, you know what they need? They need to pick up Lincoln Riley, right? Just pull him out for offensive coordinator, right? Because that's all he is a glorified offensive coordinator, right? Rip him away from USC because we're done with him. Please take him, right? And then you do have an offensive coordinator who you don't have to worry about. Okay? Because that's all Lincoln Riley should ever be, is an offensive coordinator. And his offense is starting to get stale as it is. Well, and I shouldn't talk shit, because I'm shocked that when I stopped watching the game yesterday because I was working, they were losing. So when I saw that they had actually come back and won yesterday, almost like Georgia almost came back to beat Bama yesterday. That was one hell of a game.
Yeah.
Right? But it just, no. But the Jets are never really a team or a franchise that I've likened with being an offensive-minded team. No. I've always looked at them as being a defensive-minded team.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes sense that their coach is more defense and...
Well, I just feel sorry for Saleh, because there's nothing he can really do to save his job. And if Aaron Rodgers don't turn it around, like, this man's about to lose his job. Like, and it ain't really his fault that this team can't draft a quarterback and hasn't been able to do on the offensive end since he got there. His defenses have been pretty damn good just about every year, but that offense is just
His
ugh,
defense has been the only thing that's actually kept the team even a
competitive. Yeah,
tiny bit competitive.
yeah,
So to think that he could possibly likely be losing his job when really it isn't him. I mean, one could say he's the coach, so at the end of the day, it all comes down on
yeah.
him,
No matter what,
but
yeah,
still, like, you can't help that the great white hype got injured the first drive, the first possession of his first actual game as a Jet. You can't help that.
yeah, like that.
And
That
he's never going to be the same player, period. He already wasn't going to be the same player he was at Green Bay because let's be very honest, with as great of a quarterback as Aaron Rodgers has been, he is on the backside of his career.
100%. Yeah,
That's just facts,
yeah, I can't disagree with you.
especially after that injury.
And he can tell
Just
people
like poor Russell Wilson, I'm sure his freaking lost his job. Sorry, bruh.
that poor guy.
Hate it for you. You might be a backup somewhere, but you're never going to be a starting quarterback again.
You know, you know.
Even
Yeah,
after their loss today, because that was their first loss of the season. So Justin Fields is the real deal. He just didn't get a fair shot in Chicago.
yeah. Well, he didn't have again. Like Caleb is going to have to overcome a lot in order to be successful, and they're 2-2. So hey, like they're playing well, and they beat the Rams
But
today.
they're still putting pieces together though.
Yeah,
They're still trying to make up for the hole that they've been in for a
long
while.
time. Yeah,
Like since the last time they went to the Super Bowl, which is like over a decade ago, 15 years ago, like what, 2007, 2006,
2006.
somewhere around there. Right. So almost 20 years ago
Yeah,
since the last time they went to the Super Bowl. Right. So they've got, so there is some growing stuff going on. The difference is they made the moves to try to make it better
right.
for Caleb
Well,
from the
because they
jump.
received so much, they grief from everybody about what they did with Justin Fields, and nobody blames that on what happened in Chicago on Justin Fields.
Mm-mm.
Nobody with a right mind at least blames that on Justin Fields. Everybody knows that that was Chicago's upper management and how they failed to surround him with a solid team. And they, like you said, they tried to make up for it with how they're treating Caleb Williams, and hopefully they found their franchise guy. Like I said, they got the win today, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Now, one last thing we'll talk about real quick for a couple minutes before we go to break is who who in the hell told Sam Darnold he can go to Minnesota and play some football? Don't get me wrong. I get why he didn't start for San Francisco because Brock was playing better. But goddamn you, Sam Darnold. Goddamn you to all hell. Like you were straight killing me here, dog. Like wow, 4-0. Now what was really impressive about the Vikings victory was that they were outscored 22-3 in the final quarter of the game and still managed to win 31-29. like Green Bay definitely gave them a run for their money, pushed them to the limit, took them to the edge.
Thankfully the defense decided to show up at some point.
Right,
Right.
right.
Maybe not throughout the whole game, but hey, at least they showed up for a little bit.
For 3 quarters, the defense said, "We got your number, Green Bay," and then they decided to take their foot off the gas because they thought they had a big enough lead. I think they were up 28-7 at the time or something like that.
Clearly, they didn't watch the Georgia-Alabama game.
Oh,
28-0 down.
Hey.
Come back to take the lead to then lose. But still, like, that was insane. That was insanity. So, like, y'all, don't take your foot off the gas. Just
no, ever.
floor
offense
it.
or defense. Keep
All gas,
on.
no brakes.
Yep.
Let's go.
So, but congratulations to them Vikings on 4-0. The Seahawks may be joining you tomorrow. Like Seahawks look like legit contenders.
I'm not sure anybody ever saw those two teams coming at that.
Nope. I know I didn't.
I don't think that they were at the top of anybody's predictions.
Nope. Not me. Like and that I here's the thing here's the thing I like. In 2 weeks, I believe it's Niners at Seahawks. I like that series when both teams are good. I love that series when both teams are good. So, reminds me of the Harbaugh Pete Carroll years when both teams were actually good. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll take a quick commercial block break, and we will be back. Talk the late games and a little bit more of another week with a Monday night double tap right here on First GenXers Presents The Classroom right here on Broadcast Sundays. Don't forget, after this will be Now versus Then at about 7:45 Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. First GenXers Twitch. I'm Double K. That's OMalley. Peace.
You got to keep it. Keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. Keep it. You got to keep it lovely.
Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I've been real with this. Please don't judge me, I'ma stay on my shit. I'ma keep a grind mode button, push it, make it do something. No balls for me, cause I'm a loose cannon. I get to choose, camera, switch it up, look up a new banner. Keep smoking on that banner.
We back at it. Yup, we still doing it.
Poetic beat.
First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the same. Dropping these beats won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the first GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the switch or the Xbox and
Get up in my zone, I'm clowning.
let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business.
I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this.
And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it. It's the first gen. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the first GenXers production. It's the first. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But the definition of beauty is distorted. Yeah. Come on. Searching for yourself, so insecure about the way you look, so you go to Miami. You can't find the love within yourself.
the personnel to man up and get after Patrick Mahomes. I think it's Brian Denny was his name, or whatever, came out and said like outright,
Pay the man. Please, just pay the man.
yeah,
You need him.
he just got paid.
Two shitty teams to play to see who's the least or worst shittiest, really, is what that broke down to. Sorry. And Deshaun Watson, and I'm not a running back, so I'm not going to run plays. Sorry, sir, you have to evolve for today's NFL.
Yeah. Well, I'll say, then we had the Commanders beat down the Cardinals, as we mentioned earlier, and the Chiefs beating up on Jim Harbaugh and the Chargers out there in San Diego or in LA or wherever they playing at now. So the game that kind of surprised me the most, and I kind of already tipped my hat to it, was the Raiders losing to the Browns. Not because I expected the Raiders to win running away, or not the Browns to win running away, but it's the Raiders. This is Gardner Minshew and them boys. Like, really? That, like, yeah.
Got a backup quarterback in the Sandlot. Like, I mean, sorry, but like again, I stand on what I said. Two shitty teams playing to see who is the least or worst shitty among the two of them. Like,
it reminds me of San Francisco versus the Houston Texans in Santa Clara a few years back. No, in Candlestick Park a few years back when it was literally the battle for the number one pick. Let's see, but yeah. So the Raiders.
It's the same thing I said last week, right? Because my dude and I got into it because he's like, they're going to win. They're going to win. It's Carolina Panthers. They're going to win. They should win. It's the game they're supposed to win. I said, which is exactly why it's the game they're going to lose.
Yep.
Okay, you have to understand this.
Yep.
I may not be a fan anymore because fuck Mark Davis, but they still are the same team year after year.
Yeah.
They win the games that they shouldn't, like against Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then they lose the games that they should win in glorious fashion.
No shit.
So today was like, okay, whatever. I mean, I was kind of disappointed about the win. Just because, yes, I'm a hater. Call me a hater. I don't care. I'll own it. I hate him. Again, fuck Mark Davis. Y'all, when he dies or sells the team or goes bankrupt from all his strippers and blow, then maybe I will revisit the team. But right now, under current ownership and management, there's no way in hell. And I have no qualms about it.
Mark Davis and John Fisher can both go burn on the ninth level of hell.
Yeah.
Oh man. And
Dante made a circle specifically for y'all, right? Like, yeah. So,
well, no, like,
and fuck everybody else saying that it's all Oakland's fault, because I'm sick of hearing that too.
Yeah. It's not.
Right. You've got rich ass owners who really never had any intention of staying in Oakland. Period. Let's be honest.
Yep.
So Oakland could have handed them land on a silver platter and it wouldn't have been enough. And any of you that think any different,
Let's be real. The what is it? Not Travis, not Harris. The station. Dang it, I can't think of the name of the area that they gave them. The Howard Terminal station was beautiful. It basically would have been the East Bay's
you could
version.
have had the A's version of the Giants
Pac Bell
ballpark, which
Park, yep.
would have been
Awesome.
amazing.
But
Beautiful.
Instead,
And the state even offered money for infrastructure
Yep.
there.
But Fisher was greedy and wanted to do a bunch of other shit in real estate. And all
Yet
the
he
rest of the
still
shit.
doesn't even have any kind of financing for this. They're going to end up stuck in Sacramento.
I ain't mad because I'm a fan and I'll still go to the
Nope.
games. But
Not anymore. You can consider me a Dodger fan now.
oh God, why the Dodgers? If anything, you could say the Giants and that'd be more acceptable.
No, because I will never be a Giants fan, and because I don't know, because I used to still be bitter about that '88 World Series.
Yeah.
So it feels fitting, and plus I have loved ones and family that are Dodger fans. My grandma's probably rolling over in her grave because she was the biggest little Giants fan you would have ever met. So I've probably been disowned, like spiritually or some shit. But I don't really care because, well, the team didn't care about the fans. And I don't care what you people say. The team didn't care about the fans. They've shown year after year after year that they don't care about the fans. They've started with the Cespedes trade 3 days before Cespedes bobblehead when we were leading the entire baseball.
Yep, with record-wise.
So I'm sorry, but no. And then after that, anytime a player would actually become something, yes, we're great at player development. That's awesome. But then as soon as they're developed to being worth something, we sell them to the highest bidder. And I'm not okay with that. That's not how you treat your players. That's not how you treat the fans. You had no commitment to winning, no commitment, Raiders, to excellence.
Yeah.
No.
It
So
was just about
y'all
the money
can,
grab.
you can miss me with all of that because nobody should be responsible for paying billionaires
For their-
bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right. So the last game I will bring up is, how about them Commanders? Like,
I have a very, 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 very happy man right now.
I bet.
He broke a record today, an NFL record for his completion percentage through the first 4 games with at least, with over 100 yards and also just his completion percentage, the phenomenal game. The fact that if you watched the game, you would have actually thought they were in Washington.
Yeah. The way the crowd was
Because
going.
Washington, and also Jaden Daniels is from San Bernardino.
Yeah.
So, pretty easy for the people to be filling the house.
Arizona,
But
yeah.
just to see, I love to see this kid. And he also played for Arizona State before he played for LSU.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of support in that arena for him tonight. But to see him come out, and especially after the atrocious line of quarterbacks that Washington has had. And as a former Raider fan, I can also understand that. But to see the pieces starting to align from Cliff Kingsbury, who gave a big fuck you, right, to Arizona. I'm coming back to the place that fired me, and now we are demolishing you. We humiliated you.
Yeah.
So and to see the team come together and to also have a happy man is
Always a plus. Yeah.
makes my life easier. I don't have to listen to the bullshit like I had to listen to with he hated Sam Howell. I don't blame him. Because where is Sam Howell? He's warming somebody's bench holding a clipboard right now. So, okay.
Yep.
But to see Jaden Daniels go out and do his thing, it is
It's beautiful.
amazing.
It's beautiful.
It is really beautiful.
You know,
And they're ahead in their whole
They're
little
3-1.
thing right now, which is pretty
Wash-
amazing for them where they have come from.
Washington can keep the streak going with a different team winning the NFC East every single year. So, all right. So, well, I'll say we got the Ravens and the Bills going at it right now. Ravens are up 21-3. It's looking like the Ravens are going to try to make a comeback. They beat up on Dallas last week. Looks like they're going to beat up on the Bills this week. They might still be the biggest threat to Kansas City in the AFC. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think that they're trying to come out and show this tonight because I think that they really feel like their record isn't indicative of who they are as a team right now. And I think that they're really out there trying to make that point against Buffalo, with Buffalo having the record that they do. So I do think, speaking of Chiefs, Rashee Rice.
Potentially lost for the season.
And I am really not trying to be an asshole, but if he wasn't playing like he shouldn't have been playing, he wouldn't have gotten hurt. I don't want to see any player get hurt, regardless of the kind of human being they are off the field. But like, you know, and I wish him a speedy recovery because we've seen what happens to players who kind of go down this path, and I don't want to see that happen to anyone. So hopefully it's not as bad as they think it might be, because that's quite the way to get taken out by your own quarterback.
Oh.
Neither of you who should have been trying to tackle anyone.
Dude,
they already intercepted the ball. Just let it go. Don't try to be a hero, because either your receiver gets hurt or the quarterback gets hurt.
Neither one.
I hate to say it in this aspect that for them, the better of the two got hurt. It wasn't Mahomes. They can do without Rice before they could do without Mahomes. And again, even with what I said and how I feel about karma and all of that, I'm not wishing an injury upon him. But there's a lot of people that also don't believe he should have even been playing given what's going on right now. So that's one of those things. But here, hopefully, it is not as bad as it seemed. He will be quick to mend, just to be suspended. And, you know, the Chiefs will be back on their merry little way.
Back to winning again. I don't think they're really going to lose a step. To be honest with you, they're 4-0.
I don't know. I don't think this is going to affect. Now, had it been Mahomes that got hurt, we'd be talking a whole different scenario. But like, this needs to be a lesson to you players who tackling is not your job or position. We've seen kickers get hurt that way, right? Because they try to go out there and be something they're not. Don't play the hero. Play the hero doing what you do. If they get points off of that, then they get points off of that. But it's better that they get points off of that than you end up critically injured, and there you fucked your entire team by trying to play the hero.
The whole season,
Right.
All right.
So prayers to Rashee Rice. Okay, before I get hate mail and death threats and all of that, and like, oh my God, she's wishing injury on people. No, there's only one person I ever wish injury on, and he plays basketball. Okay, so let's just please be clear about that.
For sure.
Okay, so I don't, regardless of what's going on, I don't wish. I can't help what my first thought in my head is. Okay, I'm healing. I'm not healed. I still have work to do, but hopefully it's not as bad as they think it is, because if it is, then he's going to be, given what else he's got going on, he's going to be out for a significant period of time. So
that's why they drafted Worthy. So
they didn't even figure they would have him at this point. I don't think. I think that they feel like they were playing on borrowed time, getting whatever they could get out of him while they could. So, 100%. But I would like to see Baltimore be able to break the streak and beat Kansas City. I'd really like to see them do that.
Well, they're a team that could do that. They got the squad. All right.
Yeah.
So last thing we'll talk about before we wrap this up is we got another Monday night double dip with the early game being Titans Dolphins, which no Tua, nobody really cares about that matchup. So we're going to talk a little bit about the late nightcap game, which is Detroit and Seattle. Seattle coming in 3-0, Detroit coming in 2-1. It's going to be, I believe, it's going to be in Detroit. So this should make for an amazing game, and should leave us stunned with who wins it. Because I think Seattle takes their first loss here. I think that Detroit is.
Yeah. Especially if they're in Detroit.
Yeah.
Then absolutely. I say Detroit takes the win here. Seattle takes their first loss. They walk away with the same record. Right?
Yeah,
like
100%.
and we see two teams already that like Seattle's going to give the Niners a run for their money.
Oh, they have every year.
Right. Well, I mean that's just one of those divisional things,
Yeah.
but and I think that Goff and Detroit have shown that
They're legit.
they're legit. Last year wasn't a fluke. I would like to actually see them go even further. I have no skin in this game, so clearly not all the way, because that would also mean that somebody else's team would have to lose and I would never hear the end of it for that, right? But I would like to see them.
I would love to see the
Go
Lions
farther.
reach a Super Bowl, as long as they don't beat my Niners to get there. But I'll be
Or
honest.
the Commanders, because I don't really want to hear
Yeah.
that either.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, like I appreciate what they're doing in Detroit, and I think that, and I ain't gonna lie, part of my prediction had to do with the fact that Seattle loss is good for the 49ers. This brings us a game closer with them playing Seattle
See,
next
he's
week.
got ulterior motives. You can't trust him.
I can't lie.
Mm-mm.
But
He's putting that bad juju out there, going, "Yes, Detroit, I need you to do this. This hook me up, help us out." Right?
I can't
Like,
have Seattle coming into that matchup 5-0. Like, they need at least one loss on their record.
right. I still think it's hilarious, like in how it not only worked out in the playoffs, but then at the beginning of the season with, the Rams in Detroit and like literally swapped out quarterbacks and just. But to
kept
see
on
both
chugging.
both of them do well after leaving the environments that they had been in for a while, and nothing against either. Both are good quarterbacks.
Damn good quarterback.
Just some situations aren't always the best. So
Matthew Stafford gave it his all, just like Jared Goff gave it his all.
Absolutely.
Matthew Stafford led them. I want to say he led them to the playoffs at least one other time, at least one or two times during his
for like
his
the
7
first time in a really, 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 really long time.
Yes.
Yes.
And so like, and same thing with Jared Goff. He led the Rams to a Super Bowl. So like, he didn't, not a victory, but he led them to a Super Bowl. So like.
Yeah, we can't all be winners.
At the end of the day, they both did fairly well. It was just something about going to the other place that they were able to seal. Stafford was able to win a Super Bowl, and now Jared Goff gets to live out his career by taking the Lions, who've never won a Super Bowl ever, and most likely within the next 5 years, as long as they continue to put good pieces around them, they'll get at least one. Like, I could see the Lions getting at least one good Super Bowl, or at least one Super Bowl in the next 5 years. So good things going on out there in Detroit. Seattle, same thing. Kenneth Walker is going to be back. So, like I said, it should be a hell of a game, but I definitely
Who's their
like it.
quarterback now?
Who? Geno Smith still.
Is it-
Geno Smith is still the starter for the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's. I don't think anybody would have saw that one coming a couple years ago.
No, nowhere near. Nowhere near.
But sometimes that just goes to show all it takes is the right fit at the right time with the right people around for development.
Yep.
So it's not that he never had it in him. We didn't see it once he came to the NFL, really.
Well, it's one of those things like I was explaining to my daughter. Some people have natural talent, some people have taught talent. And I believe it took Geno a few years to learn his talents and learn where he belonged, and he has to also get into the right situation to thrive. To be able to thrive.
He wasn't really in the most hospitable situation prior, so
So,
and so it's
yeah,
it's good to see people coming
doing
through.
well. Yep.
Right?
Him,
Look at
Baker
Justin
Mayfield,
Fields.
Sam Darnold, like they're all. This is the year. This is the year to comeback quarterback. So yeah, why not Geno in there too? Uh, but all right, so that's going to close us out for this week with the classroom. I want to thank everybody who joined us, Agent K28, and all the others. And we will be back next Sunday talking more football, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. After us immediately is Now versus the Induced with Agent K28 bringing you some music to close out broadcast Sundays. And I'll be back tomorrow with NFL Mondays, or not, Football Mondays on the Xbox. So, till then, y'all, you can check out the replay of this show on, what is it? Thursdays at 3:20 on Live 365. So I have to remember because there's so many different ones. Thursdays at 3:20 on Live 365. And you can also see the replay of this on either YouTube, Twitch, or 2KK2 Network. You'll see the website name down there.com. You can catch it over there on Tuesday. All right, y'all. OMalley, I always leave you with the last word. Let 'em know.
With we haven't quite gotten there yet, but it's all up in the news, and I'm really sick of hearing about Junior already. So I'm gonna leave with my famous last words, and not disappoint anyone. Fuck LeBron, right? That back to the only person I ever want injured, and then that's what I want to hear is LeBron retires and Bronny relegated to the G League. Right, because let's go. So fuck LeBron, bye Bronny, sorry, not sorry.
Peace, y'all. All right.